Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Making Myself. If you're hearing this, is that you survived Blue Monday. Congratulations. I don't know if you're familiar with the Blue Monday concept, but basically it's this day. I think it's the second Monday of starting the year of January, because basically most of people they just give up on their resolutions for the new year, and that's actually not a good thing. But hey, if you're here, you survived. If you're still pursuing your resolutions for this year, I encourage you to keep going. So again, welcome to another episode. I hope it will help you to pursue your new resolutions. I'm going to be talking about the hedonic treadmill. um, you already know what's a treadmill, right? You run and you kind of stay in the same place as long as the treadmill is on, right? Or well, basically you stay on the same place and you're burning calories and you're making an effort, but yeah, you don't move forward. Hedonic, what means is that it's something that someone that pursues pleasure or happiness, right? So the hedonic treadmill combined, it's a theory that suggests that people repeatedly return to the initial happiness level, even after a significant positive or negative event, um, and changes in life, basically, right? So um, it's a concept in positive psychology. So it stipulates that no matter what trials and triumphs individually you experience in your life, like the happiness levels tend to revert back to the baseline over time. For example, when a person finally buys a dream car, right? Or they experience a surge of joy initially, but then over time they become accustomed to the car. And it happened to us all, basically. And it no longer provides the same level of joy that and excitement that the first day, second day, first week did, right? The good thing, though, is it affects on the positive side, but also the negative side. So there's this research that was done in the 1970s. Let me look for the names of these scientists. Basically, the paper was called "Lottery Winners and Accident Victims," and the psychologists were Brickman and Campbell. So that in 1970s, um, the study basically found that both groups, despite experiencing dramatically different life events, um, basically they were asking and they were following up on the level of happiness for people that won the lottery and also people that were paralyzed after an accident. So these people that is within the spectrum, they were like kind of on the opposite sides. The overall life satisfaction returned to pre-event levels, and that's very interesting, and that's something that we can apply in our lives as well, because no matter what, if something really good happens, we cannot stick to there, because we know that we're going to revert back, most likely to baseline. That's actually kind of a downer, right? Because we rather stay always up. But hey, there are not apps without downs. The good things, though, like when we go down and we stay down, we're not going to stay forever. Basically, we're going to go back again to baseline. And that's something that we need to keep into account, because sometimes, yeah, life might be hard, and maybe pushes us, but we need to avoid, um, to, let's say, put uh, permanent measures into temporal circumstances, right? So no matter what, if we go through pain, if we go through downs, we're gonna overcome that, and eventually, and even if we our circumstances are permanent, like being paralyzed, eventually we're gonna adapt, and we're gonna get used to it, and then we're gonna revert back to our baseline, which is, of course, there's some people that are happier than others, but we're kind of predetermined genetically to have a specific level of happiness. So let's not forget that when we're on the ups, but also when we are, especially when we are on the downs. So just imagine there have been instances where individuals with win large sums of money in lotteries, right? Expecting that the financial windfall will bring them lasting happiness. And however, the studies have shown that over time, these lottery winners tend to adapt to their newfound wealth. Maybe they don't have to struggle with, hey, I don't know if I have enough to, purchase this dream car or whatever. But then you start having other types of worries, um, like, hey, like a lot of people, maybe a lot of people is asking me for money, and now I kind of more people depend on me. There might be like, actually, uh, money, um, it just kind of solve money problems, but the rest of the problems that we need to deal with, which are maybe relationship problems and all sort of other problems that sometimes are actually fun to solve, because otherwise life would be boring. um, those are still there. So those lottery winners that they thought that, hey, for of course for 1 or 2 days you forget about everything, and you think that all your problems are solved already just by having a lot of money. Then they realize, hey, it's not that bright. So basically, hey, I need to maintain this big house that I just bought, right? uh, and I have all these other bunch of problems that come with money. And then you basically go to baseline. And on the opposite side as well, like if you go more to detail, like, hey, I have this big issue. I'm I'm I don't know, I had an accident and I have these permanent um, issue, like physical issue, whatever it is, right? Eventually, we're gonna get used to it, or that's the theory, at least. And once we kind of adapt to it, then we can start like kind of empower that situation. Like maybe we have more time to do other stuff, or to empower other attributes or skill sets that we may have and we didn't think that we had before, because we didn't have the chance or even the thought of kind of a work on these skills. So it's a really powerful concept, and basically it also helps us to think to there's always a light, despite of how bad we think we are, and also try to manage situations when we think like super well and super high, that hey, just embrace, because normally you're going to go back to the baseline, right? So those are the main examples, taking picking on the streams. And of course, like the regular people, uh, we're not, most of people are not lottery winners, and fortunately most of people don't have like a big impact or change in their lives by being paralyzed, right? But there's some sort of spectrum here. So we might have like maybe lower highs and higher lows, right? But basically, depending on, and those are relative to our events in our lives, right? Everyone has its own. There might be like huge, crazy coasters for some people. For others, might be a little bit more tamed, right? But in the end, these ups and downs are going to exist no matter what. And knowing this concept is going to help us to run through it, basically to ride through it. And I hope this is helpful for everyone that is listening. So, thank you so much again for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're wondering, hey, why you're talking about this stuff now? Like, I'm actually checking the exposure of the mental models that I have under the website. That's makingmyself.com. You can search for mental models, and there's a bunch of there. There are like 100 plus, and I'm starting to see some traffic that it kind of indicates me what's more interesting for people. So if you were wondering, the Hedonic Treadmill, it's one of the most searched concepts that were on the site. So it's always super good having your feedback, and this signals kind of what people is interested, because I'm not just randomly just talking about mental models and all that stuff. I just try to make it useful for people that is looking for specifics in terms of making decisions or kind of navigating, exploring through life. And that's the concept of the whole podcast and the whole concept of making myself. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for your feedback, for listening, for staying there, and I hope that I see you next time. All right, take care. Bye.